You don't have just one version of yourself. You have many, and none of them feel completely real. Around some people, your voice softens. You laugh quicker, even when nothing is that funny. With others, you become sharper, more opinionated, more certain. And then there are the moments when you go quiet, not because you have nothing to say, but because something inside you decides it's safer that way. It's subtle, so subtle you barely notice it happening. But by the end of the day, you feel it, that quiet exhaustion, like you've been switching masks without ever taking one off. You adjust yourself in ways you can't fully explain. You replay conversations before speaking. You measure your words, then soften them, then change them entirely. You become what the moment seems to need, more agreeable here, more distant there, more impressive when you feel watched. And sometimes you hear yourself talking and it doesn't even sound like you. You notice how your laughter changes depending on who you're with, how your posture shifts without permission. Even your interests seem to move, expanding in one room, shrinking in another. It's not fake. It feels real while it's happening. That's what confuses you the most. Because if every version feels real, then which one is actually you? The truth is quieter than you expect. You learned this long before you were aware of it. Somewhere along the way, you realized that being fully yourself didn't always feel safe. Maybe it was the moment your honesty was misunderstood, or when your excitement was met with silence. Maybe it was when being too much or not enough changed the way someone looked at you. So you adapted, not consciously, not strategically, but instinctively, like water taking the shape of whatever holds it. You became readable, predictable, easy to accept. And every time it worked, every time you avoided discomfort, that pattern rooted itself deeper. Now it happens automatically. You walk into a room and something inside you scans it. Who's here, what they expect, what version fits. And before you even sit down, you've already adjusted. Not because you're fake, but because you're careful. Careful with how much of yourself you reveal. Careful with what parts might be rejected. Careful with being seen too clearly. But here's the part that stays hidden. Every version of you is real, just incomplete. Each one holds a piece, but none of them hold all of you. And the exhaustion you feel, it's not from pretending, it's from fragmentation, from being divided across moments instead of whole within them. The shift doesn't start by forcing yourself to be the same everywhere. That would feel unnatural, even wrong. It starts by noticing which parts of you disappear the fastest, the opinions you swallow, the reactions you edit, the energy you suppress. Not judging them, just noticing. Because awareness doesn't demand change, it creates space for it. And slowly, you begin to stay a little longer in your natural reactions. You let a thought finish before reshaping it. You allow silence without rushing to fill it. You stop abandoning yourself mid-moment. Not perfectly, not always, but enough to feel the difference. And that difference is subtle but undeniable. A quiet sense of alignment, like your words and your thoughts finally recognize each other. You won't become one fixed version of yourself. That was never the goal. You're meant to shift, to adapt, to move, but not at the cost of disappearing, not at the cost of leaving pieces of yourself behind in every room you enter. Because you were never supposed to feel like a stranger in your own voice. You were just taught to edit yourself before anyone else had the chance to. And once you see that, you can stop. Not all at once, but enough to begin. Enough to stay. Enough to finally hear what you sound like when you're not trying to be anyone else. And maybe that's who you've been looking for all along.